Good afternoon. Thanks for that applause. Once again, my name is Alan Madden, Gadigal Elder. It's pretty good to see some of my old mob here, old grey-haired mob. Yeah, but it's a hard audience here, mate. Yeah. They're very creative. Welcome to country. To me is always an honour and pleasure. Just to give you a bit of an insight of where you are and who we are. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as we've all, born and bred in Redfern, capital of Sydney. It used to be the crime cap. No, that's not right. Married man as well.
Oh, bugger.
10 children, 26 grandchildren and 17 great-great. We found out what caused it and we stopped. As I mentioned, welcome's always an honour and a pleasure. Just to give you a bit of an insight of where you are and who we are. As with all welcomes, firstly, I'd like to acknowledge our First Nations and traditional owners of the lands that you may have come from or work upon, and pay my respects to all our Aboriginal elders, all elders, past and present. Also pay my respects to all our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander brothers and sisters. From whatever Aboriginal or island nation you may have come from, welcome to Gadigal. And to all our non-Indigenous brothers and sisters here today, a very warm and sincere welcome to you to Gadigal. No matter where you've come from, whether it be across the seas, across the state, or across town, once again, a very warm and sincere welcome to you to Gadigal. And as I've mentioned many times before, was, is, and always will be Aboriginal land. Only three things surer than that: coming, taxation, and going. It's an honour and pleasure to be here today to welcome one and all to Gadigal. Gadigal is one of 29 clans of the Eora Nation. The Eora Nation is bounded by nature's own, the Hawkesbury River to the north, the Peene to the west, and Georges River to the south. And in between those three mighty rivers is the Eora Nation. And in that nation, there are 29 clans. And the clan's land we're on today is Gadigal. On behalf of Creative Australia and of the Gadigal mob, once again, a very warm and sincere welcome to you. And as you travel across these traditional lands and waters, may the spirits of our ancestors guide, look over you, and keep you safe. So once again, on behalf of the Gadigal mob, Creative Australia, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Uncle Alan, for your warm welcome to country. I too would like to pay my respects and acknowledge the Gadigal and pay my respects to elders past and present, and extend my respects to the traditional custodians of the lands on which we are all attending from today. Warami Midiga, Yama Malia. Welcome everyone to this special reconciliation webinar. My name is Lucy Bishop and I'll be your MC today, and I'm representing the RAP working group. Reconciliation Week is a time for all Australians to learn about our shared histories, cultures, and achievements, and to explore how we each can contribute and walk together in Australia. Now more than ever, it's time to stand up, to defend, and to celebrate the rich cultural heritage and contributions of our First Nations peoples. It's an important time as we prepare to send off a cohort of First Nations artists to the 13th Festival of Pacific Arts and Culture in Hawaii. The event is a significant cultural gathering, bringing together artists from across the Pacific to celebrate our shared cultural heritage and strengthen ties between our communities. Last night, we celebrated another important event on our calendar, the First Nations Arts and Cultural Awards. These awards honour the outstanding contributions of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander artists. This event has been running for several years, celebrating remarkable artists and their legacy. Last night's recipients included Sarah Prestwidge and Tybayan Wiles, who both received the Emerging Career Development Award. Malika Geisha and Dean Brady, who both received the Dreaming Award. Brenda Gifford, who awarded the First Nations Fellowship. Auntie Mabel Julie, who received the prestigious Red Ochre Award for Lifetime Achievement, and Uncle William Badger Bates, who also received the Red Ochre Award. Congratulations to all the recipients for their extraordinary contributions to the full ceremony. The full ceremony will be available for catch-up on viewing on our website in about 2 days' time, with captions added for accessibility. Today, we have a special treat for you. We have a yarn with Uncle Badger Bates and Wesley Enoch. Uncle Badger is a proud Buckingham man and renowned visual artist and cultural ambassador known for his profound contributions to the arts. He will be in conversation with Wesley Enoch, a distinguished playwright and director who is a proud Quandamooka man for Minjimba, North Stradbroke Island. Wesley has made significant strides in bringing First Nations stories to the forefront. Please welcome Wesley Enoch and Uncle Badger Bates.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Can I just say, every time I hear Uncle Alan, I made some jokes last night. Every time I hear Uncle Alan, it's like he's singing his welcome, isn't it? It's like a chant. Yeah, hello, and here we are, and that's what we do. And there's kind of like and I asked him just this morning, because I made a joke about his, not joke even, but saying that Welcome to Country should be in a museum, because it's so kind of well crafted and well honed, and it's there and should be remembered for all time. And he said, it's through the repetition that we listen differently each time. Each time we hear that Welcome to Country, however familiar we are with it, and especially those in the Sydney area, we hear this kind of, well, even some of those old dry jokes kind of come back to haunt us, but we almost look forward to them because through that repetition, we hear differently. And that's a very cultural perspective. And almost that time, then I heard him sing it to us in that way, which is fascinating. Uncle Badger, can I just take a little bit of time to say how deadly you are, how amazing you are, not just as an artist, but as a cultural leader, as an environmentalist, as someone who is representing your family and all your generations. This Red Ochre Award is the very least we can do at Creative Australia to acknowledge your part in making this country stronger in all that we do. And I just want you to feel that we in this room and you watching at home feel a deep sense of pride and honor that you are with us in this country, telling these stories, keeping our culture and our country strong in everything that you do. So big thank you and congratulations. I see you look down when I say that to you. What happens when you hear that sense of, you know, our pride in you, our belief in you, our honor?
Well, why I do that is not to disrespect anyone, but I was always taught when you're sitting around a fire, you don't put the shadow on the old people, you don't walk in front of anyone, and you only look people in the eye when you know, not stare at people all the time, because it's not right to do that. I don't like people staring at me, and I wouldn't do it back to them. But that's just the way I was reared up. It is, at first up, I'd like to, before I really start, I would like to thank the Gadigal people, my brother Alan Nutt, for letting me and my mob come down, and the rest of our people in our nation and our beautiful country, Australia. We picked Redfern as Parliament House to us, we can always go there and get help. And with some of our rights, what you talked about, but is I was only about 18 or 19, and we started our first Aboriginal legal service at Redfern. So Redfern is the place from a lot of us. And it's just a place, what in our hearts, it doesn't matter where we come from in Australia, we can always go to help to Redfern and find someone that will help us. So I'm saying that. And then the next thing, I'd like to thank Creative Australia for giving me a chance, and my people from Wilcannia and the rest of Western New South Wales. The award means a lot to me, but also with my award, when I get it home, it will go to Wilcannia and let the kids take it. And I mean the smaller ones right up to about 17, 18 or, you know, whatever, in that school group, because the award is, in a way, I created and done it to get the award, but without the support from my people and the rest of the people, you know, sometimes you fall over, they'd get it and dust me off and say, keep going. And that's the way I feel, that it belongs to everyone, the award, and even to you people. You know, if I had it here, I'd just put it on the table and say, touch it, because that's the way I feel with my artwork, and that's just who I am.
Uncle, you talk often about the Barker and the beautiful river. Can you just describe your country for us and how you connect to it?
Yeah, well, with me, I say I got 3 ngamakas. When you mention the Barker, I got 3 ngamakas. That means I got 3 mothers. My mum, what brought me to the world, my grandmother who helped rear me up, and the Barker, the Darling River, who fed me. Without them 3, I am nothing. Now the 2 mothers are gone, but the Barker is still there. And that's why I wear a T-shirt underneath this shirt, and it states a thing, but my partner up to Sarah Martin, she said, you keep your shirt buttoned up at all times. But under here, I got a T-shirt, and really when I fight for my third ngama, my third mother, I don't fight for it just for me and my people. I fight for it for everybody. And like Brother Alan said, every nationality, because the city is getting overgrown and people got to go to explore. It wasn't just us black people who walked around Australia, you know, and explored. We done it a long time ago. But even today, everyone's exploring. You go on a holiday, and to meet us, you're exploring the country, and without water, you're nothing. And if you don't mind me saying, I say to the government, we got native title, what we fought for about 19 years, and they gave us the land back. And I just tell them, what's the good of land without water? Just take it all back. You gave us nothing. Without the water, I'm not even a black person. I haven't got no recognition, nothing, if they take that river, right? And that's who I really am. And then my inspiration is the kids. I do it for the kids. I didn't have, you know, we had nothing, and I just done it. And being where I come from a tin hut, it gave me that encouragement to keep going, because the Barker is still there.
You talked about, as a young person yourself, it was your grandmother who helped you carve emu eggs first time.
Yeah.
Did she see in you the artist that you became?
Yeah, there was, I just don't know what it was. There was something there. But when I was a little fella, right up till I was about 14 or 15, I used to take fits. And when I took these fits, I nearly got drowned a couple of times. And they'd always chuck me in a mustard bath, and I don't know what I'd done, but it done something to my head and snapped me out of it anyhow. And then when I used to take these fits, I had to be around there all the time. But I was lucky, because other old people was coming from different tribes coming in when we used to dodge the welfare and then go around and travel in a triangle up to Burke, across to Coburg and to Lake of Jelly, going back to Wilcannia, in a sort of a triangle. But everyone knew about me. And not only was it just black people, it was white people too. And they knew this boy. And before they started calling me Badger, I went to school when I was 8-year-old and I got the name Badger from winning the Willows. But before that, my real name is William Bates. And there was 2 William Bateses going to school. And they called me Bill. So everyone knew me as Billy Boy. And if we went back, go back today, and some of the old white people, they'll say, we don't know you, but as soon as I mention Granny Moore or Billy Boy, they know who I am. So it's that thing, and it's, yeah.
Why'd you get the name Badger from Wind in the Willow? What's
I always going to the mission school, and I used to go to the mission school now and again, so I couldn't be one of the stolen generation. My granny'd send me to school, and then the welfare would come on and say, oh, what you doing to him now, Mrs. Moore? Oh, he's going to school and he's being good and all this. But then as soon as he'd go, she'd take me out of school and take me on a mail truck ride just to get away from him. And we never lived in a mission, we just lived in a tin hut. And while we was in the mission school, they had the book of Wind in the Willows, and in it the badger, the grumpy old badger. And I'm starting to feel that way now, I'm getting a bit blood in my teeth. But anyhow, and so he called me Billy Boy, Badger. And then sort of, it was a kid, she and another kid, so I hit him. And so we had a fight, and at recess time, he gave me hide. He went home and I got the same thing. And about the 3rd day, he just kept bashing me because he's older than me and he could fight better than me. So on the 3rd day, he said it, and I just looked at him and said, yeah. And he said, you like it? I said, yep. And I just stuck from there. So today, if some people, they call me William, I just look at them and I don't know who they're talking to. Yeah, so.
you said that there was another William Bates, and I know when you do the research, you see that there was a William Bates that coined the phrase always was, always will be Aboriginal land. Now, that's a relation of yours too, not you, but somebody else. I mean, that's such a phrase that we know now and we attribute it to your family. What does that, like you see it everywhere now, you see it on t-shirts, you see it always, or always was, always will be. You even hear it now in welcomes and acknowledgements of country. To know that that comes from your relative is a big thing too.
Yeah. Well, William is sort of like a brother to me, and that's why they call me Bill. And then when they used to come out and the telecom first kicked off in other parts of our country at home, and they wanted to put these towers on some of these hills, big hills, and they were sacred to us, the kangaroo, Kulora caught a kangaroo, he turned him into a mountain. And so Uncle Jim's going along, he said, I don't know what they're all going on about. He said, this land, it was always, wasn't always, will be Aboriginal land, and it just went from there. And that was my old uncle that said that. And then, well, when you look at it, really, it is, always wasn't always Aboriginal land. But what I see today in our country, Australia, is, like our brother said there before, white fellas came here 200 something years ago. But the thing I can't work out now is we all here, Aboriginal people here for 60,000 or whatever, then the white fella came along and say maybe it's 200 or something. Why can't everyone just stop being silly with one another, get together, because the white people are not going to leave, the black people are not going to get to leave, get together and make our beautiful country work and protect it as one. That's my dream, to do that.
Definitely. You're an artist, you're amongst many things that you do. And a lot of the work that you do is different forms of carving lino, carving wood, carving stone, making prints from those carvings as well. What is it about being an artist that is important in your family?
The best way I could try and answer that question is, when I was small, I was a kid, and right up until I was about 8, or just before I got to 8, there was no such things as social security or pensions and all. It was there coming in, but Granny didn't get that. And I used to sit down and watch. She'd learn me how to carve music. So she'd say, when you grow up, then we'll get a bit of money, because that's what you can do. And it was the old people what was selling and trading the emu egg sometime or a boomerang just to get a feed. And that's where I kicked off. My mum had 6 kids in the family. There was 5 boys and 1 girl. And I was the second eldest. And Granny sort of took me and the older brother, but she learnt me. It was because I took these fits and I had to be with her all the time. And then I got to be her favourite from all this stuff. But then if I wouldn't have learned to carve emu eggs and do this, and if we'd had a lot of money, I wouldn't have been able to do what I've done today because I was Granny's favourite or because of my condition to who I was. You know, I'd have been just spoiled and wouldn't have been able to do anything in bossy. So I'm glad I had nothing because it taught me that you make do with what you got. And that's how our old people done it a long time ago before. You know, for thousands of years they done that. And
Well, Uncle, that makes it sound like you just accept things just
Yeah.
as they come to you.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you also want things changed too.
yeah, I do.
You want to go both
We
ways.
gotta go a bit both ways, but
Sometimes the art you're making
Yeah.
is talking about change as well as, I mean, it may have started off getting by, but like some of the top conversation you have about the barker through your art is really powerful. Talking about the environment, the world around us.
Yeah.
I mean,
but try to if I just go out there out in the street and demonstrate over the barker, then I'm just a silly black person coming from Wilcannia to Sydney and starting a thing. But if I put my artwork in a gallery or just in a house somewhere, let people come in it and I explain the artwork, it gets the point across better. And I think that's the only way our people can express themselves. You know, what you mentioned before, the uncle, you know, I do wood, I do stone, you know, I just muck around. It's just sort of the feeling I'm in at the time. When I never carved stone in my life until 91, they asked me, this fellow by the name of Lawrence Beck, if you don't mind, I'll just tell you how I got into carving stone. He said, you're a sculptor? And I said, no, I'm a boomerang maker from Wilcannia. I can't carve stone, I can't do this. And he said, oh, it's just a little bit hard and wood, but you can do it. So I carved a sculpture and I said, just carve emu eggs and just make a few boomerangs. And then I carved a gowan that was on a piece of tree about this big and down to here. And I carved it all, and Sarah walked around, my partner, and she said, gee, didn't take you long to do that. I said, do you like it? She said, yeah. I said, you can have it. This was in 91. And I said, you can have it. And she said, ain't you going to sell it? I said, no. She said, why did you do it, Badger? I said, because I can carve the stone. I just wanted to challenge myself to see if I could carve something big. And then she said, but why did you carve it? I said, well, that's why I done it. And I said, now that stone is going to make me or break me. I said, it can't break me. I got no money. But from that day on, I just done it. And it's just something there. I say with my artwork, and that all I do is hold the chisel in this hand, and if I'm carving stone, and a hammer in this one, I hold those 2 things for the old people who learnt me, because they come into my mind, and I know it sounds silly, but they do come into my mind and they make me carve. And that's just who I am.
You do you need to be in the mood to make art in that way? I mean, you talk about that sense of you pick up the chisel and the hammer, and then you are open to those the spirit.
It's sort of with me. I don't like being in a room when I do my artwork. I got to be out in the bush, and sometimes I just get old clag, that old Toyota, just jump in and go bush, and I just pull up anywhere and pull up along the banks of the Barker, and I start carving. And it's funny, the birds will come and, you know, go and it'll be crawling around and other things. And I talk to them in English, I talk to them in Barkindji. They talk back. None of us can understand each other. Then we get a bit of breeze blowing through the trees. But I get a lot of work done. I don't know what happened, but that's who I am. But I don't like carbon inside. And it's like when I carved the sculpture for Mount Annan, I just said this is what we're going to do when they're putting the stone up. I was a long way from, you know, about 1800 k's or something away around Old Kenya. And I'm standing up and I'm telling this fellow where to put this stone so we can carve this sculpture. And he said, where are you? I said, in Old Kenya. I said, but there's a tree on your right, there's a tree on your left, there's a little tree there what you got to knock down and you will put it there. And there's a big tree over in Hill Creek there, and that's where you're facing. And he said, how you know all this? I said, I got a stupid mind. I could see it in my mind and I know what you're doing. And that's how I am.
Why is it a stupid mind? I don't understand.
I don't know. It's just why I say that, because it's just like when, I don't know, this is who I am. And
Yeah.
I can't, if someone say, I want that there, and they said, this is what I want around here, I don't make a plan. I just let them talk to me, then I tell them to go and leave me alone. And I just do it. Like, it was funny. You all know Clarence Lockie.
Yeah, Clarence
When
Lockie,
I
yeah,
first met Clarence, he was working in the Botanical Gardens here in Sydney. And he said, right, Uncle Badger, come down, we see this. And I walked down, I said, yeah. So the old people sitting around there, they looked at me, and I done that a fair while ago now. And anyhow, so I came down, and I was working for National Park, so I came down, I met this other stonemason, a white guy, so we get drunk on Friday night. We do it again on Saturday night. And so when I first walked in his place, he said, where's your blueprint, your drawings? I said, oh, all in the computer. So, yeah. So we get drunk, and Monday I had to go and meet the people at the Botanical Gardens. And my son was down here, one of his sons, and I said, is there a place we can take the girls out? And I showed him some stuff, you know, and get him some stuff in a place where we can buy some stuff. I just need a bit of clay. And I had no drawing, and Sarah saying, what you going to do? And I said, I don't know. And he Susan Brogue said, but did you take this and you want this? I said, no, that's right. So that night, then me and my mate, a few more drinks to get rid of the hangover. So I sat down, and so I started carving this little marquette thing about this high. And all they wanted was a man, woman, and a kid there. And the River of Tees, so I sat there and done it. And so we go to the Botanical Gardens and walked in and said, oh, I wasn't old people sitting down, some black people and some white people. And they said, where's your drawing? I looked at them, I said, I can't draw. They looked at me and I said, but I can carve you this. So when I come down next year, I'll bring the little market then and show you. And I said, but I can carve you this. And so I just got a few pieces of stone and put it down. I said, and this is how we can do it and all this. And I just putting things around. Anyhow, and so while I was doing that, because when I was home, when I was a kid growing up, you'd always get a black person or a white person, and they'd sit down, and they'd had a piece of paper, they'd sit down and they'd draw a little mud, what they call a mud map on the ground. And that's sort of what I learned. And when they were saying, oh, but you go past this tree and you'll get this, and you'll get this. And so that's what my blueprint to do this sculpture. And so after that, then when I turned my back and went somewhere down, they said to Clarence, can he carve? Can he do this? He don't talk properly, you know. Worry about him, he's right. Just leave him. But that's the way I am. Yeah.
I think that's, I mean, you're saying the experience of many First Nations artists too, where often we have to prove ourselves in the white world. But if there's certain trusts and certain beliefs, we actually can still deliver. I mean, that's right. I mean, I just think about the last work I saw of yours was at the Sydney Biennale. It's beautiful. It's like, where did this come from with its rainbow? I'm going to say tongue, but more than tongue. It's rainbow.
Rainbow,
come over it from its mouth or across.
Well, what we say is when we're at home and if we're out in the bush, we go off to Barker, then you'll see a big water owl, and sometime it'll have carvings all around it, you know? And the old people say, when you go there, you can swim, you can have a drink of water, you can have a swim, but don't go throwing stones in it.
Mm.
Because that water owl is Ngachi Ngoku Minga. That means that's the rainbow serpent's water owl, and you respect it. And because what we say, you know, is that the Ngachi, it looks after us, it's helped us create all the country and all that. And there was two of them, there was a male and a female. And they gave us everything. And there's certain parts of the Barker where we can have a swim and some places we can't swim. We can go fishing, but they tell us if we catch this fish, if we catch something and it moves quick in the water like a line going like this, just cut it and walk away. Don't worry what's on the end of it, just cut it and walk away. A fish will pull and it'll go up the river, but the Ngati twisters and the carp do the same thing. So we got to teach the young people, you don't do this and you don't do that. But if it's twisting and going too fast, you cut the line and walk away. And that's how we respect that. And a lot of the young white people at home in all Kenya, they do the same thing. They don't go to these places because we all respect the Ngati.
You talked a number of times about being a young person, also teaching the next generation, touching that award, making sure they feel part of that. What are your hopes and thoughts about the next generation? How's it going? What do you want to make sure they get?
I want them to get something for themselves, try and be independent, and just listen and take everything in and then make a decision of what they really want to do.
Mm.
Don't force them. It was, to give you a good example, like me and Sarah, she's white, and you could see me who I am, but she always said, and we got a son and we call him Billera, and our son is named Billera after the wedge-tailed eagle. With my people, we Gilpra and Makra, that mean we eagle, hawk and crow people. Me, I'm a Makra man, I'm a wedge-tailed eagle man. So my son, if he's talking to his mum in Barkindji, he's saying Ngammaka, that means mother breast, you know, and he can call me Gambitja, that's father. But remember, his name is Billera, he's an eagle exactly like me. So he can call me Kakuchi, that means older brother, or Kaku. And I say, Winja Kaku, that means what you want, my young brother. So I want people to have that thing. I want them to be independent and to pick something for them and say, this is what I done, you know? And like I said before, about my sculpture, okay, I got it, I'm just a messenger, I will take it home and let the kids say, you can touch it, you know? And this is what you can achieve if you listen to the teachers. And I want them to have something that, with a lot of my work, I pick it up and I do it. I take the kids around the bush, and a lot of people got bits of rust and we make sculptures out of it, you know, to try and get them that you don't need all this to make this, right? The funny example was when I carved a stone in Brogan Hill, and sometimes I just want them to listen because I don't know everything, but with me, when we was carving the stone, it was hard stone, and I took the job on because they said it was Vulcania sandstone. It wasn't. There was a quarry on the Paru where it run to the Vulcania, into the Barker, and there was a quarry they dug down and got white sandstone and brought it up with a little bit of colour in it. The ones we carved, they got them from the side of the hill when they put the big coaxial cable through back in the 70s, and it was just hard. It had a little bit of sand in it, but it had a lot of silica in it,
Mm.
what the old people made the stone tools out of, and it was hard. So I said, yeah, I'll do it. So when I got there and I hit the stone, it rang, and I just thought, oh shit, what I got myself into here? You know, and I couldn't carve. So, and I was thinking, if I walk away from it, I'll be a laughing stock, because I had to be the artist for Broken. It was the first stone I carved. So I went to the second-hand place and I was buying all these chisels, and I was trying to carve them, but they just kept getting blunt. And the 2 Mexicans were there, and there's 3 Georgians there. And then the Georgians, they had these skinny little chisels, and I had big round chisels, and nothing was working. But I'd go up to the Georgians and I'd say, what's that? And on the end, they had a bit of tungsten again, tunk, well, he couldn't say it properly. And I said, oh, tungsten, so I got that. And then, so Broken Hill is a mining town. So what I done, they had these big rods, you know, from that lady over there, where they drill into the rocks, and they about so round, and then, but they're long, so I was cutting them off, and I was using the tungsten to carve the rock, and that's the way I worked it out. So that's what I want the kids to learn. Don't think that because you haven't got this, but you can make it work. And yeah.
That's a lesson for all of us, I think.
Yeah.
What's the next piece of art you're making? Do you know what the next thing you have to go home and make?
Yeah. How I got in, yeah, we got a gallery and we have a little bit of problems with politics home and that, you know, and it's at the moment our mayor now is, I was in Broken Hill, me and Sarah, for nearly 39 years. But if you're not a local, you're not born in Broken Hill, you're not a local. So, but my cousins is from the way we Barkany, Gurnu Barkany and Willicarley Barkany. So, and we're on Willicarley lands at Broken Hill, it's my cousin's country. So really, I'm just a refugee now in my cousin's country because, but you know, I got in the National Gallery and all this, but to me, it does not matter, because then what happened with the politics, I just walked away and there's a couple other ladies and they opened this other gallery and we call it the Slaggy. So what I'm going to do now is my next exhibition in March next year. I'm going to make an exhibition at the Slaggy, pick up some of the old stone from Broken Hill. It's hard, but I'll carve it and put in the Slaggy, pick up some of the rubbish around and put in there and give the Slaggy a boost and just do it like, and people say, why don't you go and say something, you know, and say who you really are and who, you know? And I said, no, sometime it's best just have still before the storm, because out home, I don't know about in the Sydney, but out home, we can always tell you when there's a big storm coming because it's real quiet. The trees don't even move, the birds are quiet, then you get lifted. So I'm not going to go and row with anyone. I'll just go and do it over there. And when they say something, I'll just say, I told you so, and just walk away.
We joked earlier about what does it mean to be an elder, and you joked that maybe you don't see yourself as old in that way.
And when I turned 50, you want me to tell them?
Yeah, go for it. Go.
When I was turning 50, I was getting a bit of grey hair around here, and it's funny with us black people, it'll start to go a little bit red first, and then it'll go grey. So I was going grey. We was all in a pub in Wilcannia, drinking there, me and my mom. And one of the nieces walked up and said, oh, Badger, you going grey? I said, yeah, Bob. I said, I'm going to go grey. I'm 50. So the rest of them sitting there and said, oh, no, you don't go. You're not getting old. You got to stay young and be with us. So I'm 76 now, so I can't grow old.
We hope you don't.
And I don't like being called elder because of what they said to me. And, yeah.
Well, maybe we should always refer to you as the respected. Maybe not. What is it about the Barker, that water, that life that brings so much talent? All these amazing artists and singers and people who are carvers, and there's something about that place.
Well, we say that when you cross the bridge at Wilcannia, you will come back, or if you drink the water. they used to call it the muddy old Darling, we call it the muddy old Barker. It's just there. Now we're getting artists. There's, you know, it's not only just Aboriginal people, there's a artist there where their father used to let us work on his station at Ruby Davies. She's a really good artist. I don't know if you heard of Ian Maher. He's just up from Wilcannia, and his father used to own this station, Ted Maher and my mum and dad, and they worked on this station. So what you got just from Wilcannia, you had stonemasons there a long time ago, but what you got just out of Wilcannia itself, and there's just something about Wilcannia. I don't want to talk too much about it because it's like I'm praising it up because I come from there, but just there at the moment, you got two artists, one black one and one white one, and we both carved stone, which we never set out to do. You know, his father was a crazy, and all I was doing was just wandering around the river and that, and we just do it. We're getting people like Luke Severus or someone coming out, and a lot of artists are coming out now. They're buying property there because of the Barker, and there's just something about the place. The only thing I can tell you, you got to experience the Barker yourselves. I can't explain it to you. And see for it yourself. It's there, and it mightn't look much. Respect it and look after you. If you treat it bad, it'll lift you, but come out and look after it, and it just gets you. I say to people, it doesn't matter who you are. If you want to protect something, like I said to me, like I said before, my people is Gilper and Muckra. That means with the eagle and crow. Sarah's white, okay? And no disrespect to your white people, but when one of my old aunties was his godmother, Billira, she said to Sarah, you can't be eagle woman, you got to be here with us, and you're a crow person from now on. And if you want to protect something, you can say that, I just forget the name of the big flower there, but you can say that is my totem. If that was grown on the river, that is my totem, that's what I'm going to protect, right? You can do this. And like I said before, we're all here, none of us going to leave, stand together, protect out there for the future.
I hear what you're saying there. It's almost like the challenge to everyone who's listening in now, going, what is the element? What is the animal, the flower, the plant, the part of the world around us? What is the thing that you will choose to protect for the rest of your life?
Right.
What are you related to? And, you know, we talk about reconciliation, Uncle. I don't know what that means, but what it really means is, what is your totem? What are you choosing to connect with and protect for the rest of your life?
That's right.
Uncle, I mean, I've sat here and I learn, and maybe you're not an elder. Maybe you're not.
I'm just a messenger. That's what
You are, and you're a deadly messenger. And I think you've just proven again why the Red Ochre is so small a part of what we can do to honor you. And you've just proven again and again and again your knowledge and your wisdom and the things that come from your old people that is important for all of the country to listen to. I'm going to ask this audience now to thank you for sharing this knowledge with us today. Thank you so much. You are better. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Uncle Badger.
There was just one thing I'm going to
They, one of the fellas come up and said, could you sit on these chairs, Badger? And I said, I think so. I used to ride bullocks back to front, so I think I can sit on this.
No, he's not telling the whole story. He said, but the problem is I got no ass.
Thank you, Uncle Badger and Wesley, for the yarn. We're very lucky to have you here with us today. Now for our next treat, we have a special performance by one of our Emerging Career Development Award recipients, Sarah Prestwidge. Sarah is a proud Darug woman and accomplished operatic soprano. She has performed and trained with prestigious organisations such as Opera Holland Park and the Victorian Opera. Please welcome Sarah Prestwidge.
Hi everyone, and a big thank you to Drew to Uncle for the welcome here on Gadigal land. I've had a great couple of days walking around and feeling myself back at home here. Wadami, Walamabami Yui Yura, Naya Sarah Prestwidge, Burbarongo, Ganamagal Darug Dalang, Yanma Bujadi Gumada. Hello everyone, it's so good to see you all here today. I'm a proud Darug woman belonging to the Kangaroo people of Richmond and the Possum people of Prospect, and I speak Darug on my tongue. May we all continue to stand and walk together in really good spirit on this beautiful land. I am absolutely so honoured to be one of the recipients of these awards. Such a prestigious award, and so many of my brothers and sisters, aunties and uncles and elders that have walked before me in the arts, and it's an incredible inspiration. So I feel like I'm definitely stepping into a long line of fantastic artists here. With this award, I've already been able to use some of it earlier this year. I was lucky enough to get into the final for the Paris National Opera Young Artist audition. Fortunately, I didn't progress through to be the winner of it, but I was in the final. So this award helped me to go and audition there on the stage at Paris National Opera, which was a very overwhelming experience for this country gal. And of course, I used it to help me learn Pawang Lifts the Sky by Deborah Cheatham Freyon, which I just finished performing on Wadawurrung Country in Ballarat. And I will also be performing in La Rondine with Victorian Opera later this year, Susanna and Le Nozze da Figaro in the UK, and then hopefully we'll be doing an audition tour in Germany. So this award has just been incredibly helpful in me chasing these dreams. So a big thank you to Creative Australia for that. Today, Sue and I will be performing a beautiful aria from La Rondine. In the opera, this is sung by Magda, and it's really just an improvised song that they kind of come up with, and it's about the golden dream of spontaneous love. So I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you, Sarah, for a beautiful performance. I would just like to take this moment to acknowledge all the storytellers and those who have paved a way for us since the first sunrise, for us to enjoy this moment together. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you at future events. Yanni.